See, let's go for feed him. Feed him and have a
Good. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. Hope everyone is looking forward to this bio session. We are about to get started. We are preparing for biology paper 1. We want to look at another paper, just practice encouragement as we gear up for the exam tomorrow. Do look forward to that. Looking forward to that. And I hope you are looking forward to it because the aim of it is to get the ones. So this is all about the one. Yeah, I've seen some person saying thanks for the revision session. No problem. Most welcome. Most welcome. But bio, the preparation for biology. This is CSEC Biology. We want to look at a paper. So let's start get ready and jump into it. But you know how we start. You have to put that one in the chat first to get started. So do remember to put that one in the chat. So let me see those ones. It's all about the one. Type one in the chat. So what paper should we use? Someone based on yesterday's live asked to do last year's paper, which is the June 2023 exam. And that's not a problem. So we want to look at the June 2023 exam. So this is one year ago, just after the pandemic ended. The instructions that should be very familiar to you by now. You have an hour and 15 minutes to complete all 60 questions. All 60 questions. And you are encouraged to choose the best answer. They give you a sample question, and they show you how to shade and everything. And I want to remind persons they should have a pencil to do this exam. You ideally want to use a pencil. So it would be great of you to have pencils pre-sharpened ahead of time so that you're not wasting time having to sharpen a pencil because you're shading. The pencil points will get corroded and you may need to sharpen them to revitalize them as you continue the exam. Yeah. So 75 minutes for this paper, 60 questions. What are we looking at? The May-June 2023 exam. Yeah. So let's jump into it, and you could share your thoughts and obviously your answers for the questions as they come up. Make sure we are all on the right track. Let me see if I can highlight. Yes. So let's go with question number 1. Which of the following features is used to classify a group of organisms as class Insecta? Yeah, I think the last time we did this question, it had pictures of insects, but this time no pictures. It's just words, and they're asking you to classify the group, and you would be using what? The number of segments. Remember, it's the class, the class. So the size, insects come in various sizes. Think about a bumblebee compared to a butterfly or a moth or an ant. Yeah, the shape, obviously, colors. Just think about butterfly, they come in a whole array of colors. But one thing that will be common throughout the whole class is the number of segments. So D is that first answer. So far, we off to a rocking start. No, this is not HSP. This is biology. Yeah, we preparing for the biology. The HSP exam did pass today, and now we are continuing our preparation for the biology exam tomorrow. HSB solutions, some of you are looking forward to that. Yeah, if we have time, we will squeeze in the HSB solutions. But let's continue with this question 2 on the biology June 2023 paper. Which of the following options correctly defines a niche and a habitat? You just have to take your time and read each one, the role an organism plays in the habitat, the place where an organism lives. That already tells us that that's the answer. Yeah. And the reason so many of these questions come like this is because it is knowledge and comprehension. All 60 questions test the same exact thing in the form of knowledge and comprehension. So many times you're basically looking for a definition in the question. Yeah. Question 3. Living organisms such as plants are affected by abiotic factors which determine whether they become established. Which of the following list presents some of these determining factors? So you have living organisms such as plants that tell you what kind of living organisms, and you want to know what factors will affect if this organism goes on to populate our area, meaning the plant goes on to populate this area. So what are we looking for as the answer? I hope persons are thinking about plants, which means sunlight availability. Plants definitely want that. pH level in soil, the minerals. Remember, plants obtain their nutrients and everything from their roots. Yeah, plants don't have predators. So C is definitely wrong. Deforestation, slash and burn, shift in agriculture. These are man's effects on the environment. Yeah, so we will stick with B as the answer. Which of the following organisms are most important in biodegradation, which means bio breakdown? Yeah, you want to break down stuff. Which one would be more important in the question 4? I hope everyone is thinking these microscopic bacteria. Yeah? Microscopic bacteria. Nice, nice. So let's move on to question 5. And I hope everyone is by now gauging and seeing where these questions are coming from. This is obviously section A of the syllabus. Section A of the syllabus. And continues on with item 5, refers to the following food chain. which shows the feeding relationship in a freshwater lake. We have algae being eaten by larvae, being eaten by eel, being eaten by pike. Which of the organisms would be considered the secondary consumer in the food chain? We have the producer, the primary consumer, the secondary consumer. Pike is the tertiary consumer. So the secondary consumer is the eel. A is your answer. Simple enough. A question like that is intended to give a paper, right? Is intended to give you a mark. And we know you're collecting all those questions because you're getting that one. Don't skip out on these questions. Yeah, we're taking that one and we're running with it. Question 6 refers to the following food web. All right, so if we're still dealing with food web and things, you know that these are section A questions. The first 10 or so, approximately 10 or so questions is section A. How many food chains are there in the food web? And we just have to count them. Yeah, and we will always start at plant. So this is 1. That's 1. This is 2. This is 3. 1, 2, 3. B, take your time, count them. You can write on the paper. Don't be afraid to write on the paper. You have a pencil in your hand. Write up on this paper. Don't scribble up stuff on your answer sheet, the multiple choice sheet that you will be shading on. That should surely not be done. But on the question paper, you could scribble up and write up on the question paper. So if you had a pencil in your hand, you could be drawing lines and everything, just how I did this question. Don't be afraid of doing that. You want to do all that you need to do to ensure that you get that one. Question 7. Approximately 10% of the energy stored in food is available to the next organism in a food chain because 10% of the energy stored is available. Why is it available? They're asking you, take your time, read the answers, find the best one for question 7. And many a times, the answer is up to the top. Yeah. So in this case, most of the energy is lost as heat during the process of respiration. That is true. And if you keep losing energy, it means the energy available will keep decreasing. That's why they're telling you about 10%. Yeah. All right, that is the best answer out of all of these here. Let's look for question 8. We have a diagram of the carbon cycle. Which of the following processes convert organic matter to inorganic forms? Organic matter to inorganic forms, and all you have to do is to identify, right? We have organic compounds and bacteria, fungi going up into the atmosphere. We have a cow going, or we have 1 atmospheric carbon dioxide coming into grass. That is inorganic to organic. 2, we have grass releasing carbon dioxide. That's organic to inorganic. So we know that as respiration. We have grass being eaten by the cow. You know that as feeding. We have the cow and the grass both kind of dying, hence the organic compound. So which one goes from organic, meaning from living stuff? I hope everyone has seen that, from living stuff, the grass, the cow is living, to inorganic. Yeah. So if we always looking from the grass, the cow, I hope everyone is thinking the same thing like me. 2, 5. Yeah, look, the grass is organic, going up. Yeah, there's two. And we have organic, it literally says it in the name, and going up to inorganic. Any others? No. Answer C. What do you all think? Easy enough? But I did see persons having put C in the chat. So I mean, I know they're on the right track. A happy night to you, Rosemary. I hope you are looking forward to bio exam tomorrow. Yeah. And the mere fact you're here means you continuing to prepare for it. Yeah. Which of the following outcomes, conditions would be considered a negative impact, negative impacts of human activity on the environment? Pollution, yes, that's negative. Habitat loss, what do you think? Climate change, yeah, climate change not giving any positives that we want to be like, yeah, we want more climate change. No, everybody is saying we don't want climate change. So all these are negative impactors. Question 10. Which of the following are effects of pollutants on coral reefs in the Caribbean? Less reef fish, more branching coral, increase in macroalgal and seagrass growth. You just have to know which is which. So what are we thinking for this question? Why is more branching coral? I hope persons are realizing branching coral is a good thing, right? We want more coral reefs, right? But they're actually effects of pollutants. So we're looking for the negative things. 1 and 3. So B. Yeah. Number 11 refers to the graph of this population. And they ask phase 4 of the graph of population growth is most likely due to what? Look, the graph start to go down. Phase 4. Why is the graph going down? When we know the y-axis is the number of organisms, which means the number of organisms decreasing. Why? What has happened? And remember, this word is in capital letters. That's our hint. Yeah, that's our hint. And it is competition. It is competition. All right. If you had an adequate food and space, you will go up. A high birth rate, again, would go up. Disease resistance, meaning you're not dying out, again, that will cause it to go up. The only one that will have something suggesting going down is competition. Question 12 introduces cells. Cells mean we have transitioned from section A into section B. In your syllabus, cells is the first topic in section B. So it means your first 10 or so questions in this exam was 11, but you are expecting for the paper 1 coming up that your first 10 questions will be from section A. Yeah, that is not to be a surprise to you. We want everyone knowing that. Right, so let's continue. I'm seeing the answers as well. Compared to a cheek cell, a muscle contains more mitochondria because it does work. Yeah, we know this organelle is responsible for the release of energy. Which of the following label structures is responsible for controlling cellular activity? I hope everyone is thinking the nucleus. Number one is a mitochondria. Number two is a chloroplast. How do we know this is a chloroplast? Because this cell has a regular shape. See it looking nice and rectangular. That's a regular shape. It has a cell membrane and a cell wall. So that's suggestive of a plant cell. Yeah. So the oh gosh, make a mistake here. The number three is the vacuole, takes up the majority of the cell, and number four is the nucleus. So the answer for this question is D. So question 13 is D. Question 14 refers to the following diagram, which shows a xylem vessel. The major feature that is responsible for the rigid structure of the xylem vessel is what? Cell wall containing lignin. I hope persons are seeing that, right? The cell wall contains lignin. Now, in plant cells, the cell wall contains the lignin. The xylem vessels are basically dead, right? This lignin is what gives the reinforcement. I understand that everyone is thinking about cellulose, but when you think of a very big tree, think of giant redwood and everything. Those trees that have those rings and everything, lignin is the supporting factor. All right. I hope that's clear. The plant still has a cellulose cell wall, right? Cellulose is where glucose is bonded in beta formation, right? So just be aware of that. Let's continue. Question 15 refers to the following apparatus setup. This is a popular one. Some of you may have done this as a lab or SPA, so you should have no problem with this. What can be done to cause the level of solution in the Petri dish to rise? So it is this solution here to rise after 20 minutes. What will you do? And what you should do, you should probably add some salt. You should probably add some salt to the water in the Petri dish. Yeah. And well, they tell you how much, 5 grams, right? That's fine. You can add 5 grams. Question 16 refers to the following graph showing the rate of photosynthesis and light intensity. And we see it plateaus when it reaches a certain level, right? It plateaus out. So which of the following statement best accounts for the shape of the graph? For this, you have to read all the statements to see which one will be the best. All right, I'm seeing Anita. That person is saying, what are you saying? You're saying 15, 16, 16. Everyone is saying C for 16. I agree with you. I agree with you. Right? There's some other limiting factor because of this plateauing. Yeah, because of this plateau. We're going to go on to question 17. Which of the following features will not enhance a leaf's ability to absorb solar energy? which one of these features does not improve the plant's job of absorbing solar energy? A large surface area? No. The larger the surface area, the better. Transparent critical presence of vascular bond, numerous chloroplasts. Well, some of these questions, I feel there's be good questions, but the examiner doesn't have anything to put as the wrong answer. So the wrong answers that seem so outlandish. Yeah. So no one would pick anything else except C. Yeah? Nothing else except C. Right? Question 18. Oh, I hope question 18 comes tomorrow. I really hope question 18. You all will definitely like that question. Yeah? Listeners will like that question. You know that is the photosynthesis equation. Yeah, and once that comes, you're liking yourself. Yeah, you're liking yourself. So the food produced is what? Fat, glucose, protein, amino. And we don't even have to hesitate to come up with the answer. Right? Let's just move on to question 19. The longitudinal section of a tooth. Which region of the tooth contains a large number of blood vessels and nerves? You ideally looking for the pulp cavity. Yeah, this region right here would be the pulp cavity. One is the enamel, two, the dentine, three will be the pulp cavity, which is supposed to have the blood vessels and nerves. Four, I think they are showing us the root, the part of the tooth that is under this curly bracket showing a branch nail, the part of the root that is under the gum line. Yeah. So makes it kind of easy for us as we select C. Question 20, which of the graphs shows the effect of temperature on an enzyme controlled reaction? We know how these graphs should go. Yeah. And generally, you learn this under human, and humans have a optimum temperature at around 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, many of our enzymes have that kind of optimum temperature. So that's a good hint when you're doing this question. If this question comes, remember, you will get graphical questions. This is one of them. You already experienced, I think you already would have seen another graphical question. Yes, you are expected to get 3 or 4 of them for your paper, all right? So just how you're able to read these graphs at temperature on the x-axis and enzyme on the activity on the y-axis, you should be able to read other graphs. Yeah, no problem there. Question 20. A 50-year-old male is advised by his doctor to pay special attention to the amount of salt in his diet. He probably has a high chance of developing what? Pay special attention to the amount of salt. That's the indicator. He looking to give himself some high blood pressure. What's the fancy word for high blood pressure? It's hypertension. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem for anyone. Let's continue with question 22. Which of the following options correctly matches the gaseous exchange structures with the organism? What do humans have? They have alveoli or air. Great. What do fish have? Fish have gill filaments. What do plants have? plants have their leaves. Yeah. So which one gives us that answer? And I hope persons are seeing B. Well, large leaves, they're saying, right? Large leaves. I guess young leaves. I don't know why they're suggesting young leaves. I guess that is just to lure you over here. But we know gill rakers do more filtering than gaseous exchange. Item 23, very familiar respiratory system. And they bring this in every, what I should say, living science exam. They really like this drawing, whether it's human social biology, straight up bio, general science, integrated science, whatever have living science in it, they like to ask something about this diagram. Which of the label structures represent the rib cage? You just look into the little bones, yeah? You should have, well, in reality, is about 12 pairs of ribs to make up a rib cage. So 23 is B. Looking for question 24. Which of the following conditions is the effect of, someone is asking what year paper? This is the June 2023 paper 1, Williams. You're asking that question. So let's continue. What is the following condition? Which of the following conditions is an effect of carbon monoxide found in cigarette smoke? So the carbon monoxide, what should the carbon monoxide do? The carbon monoxide does harm the body, yeah? It does harm the body. We generally have to pick the worst one. It reduces the oxygen transport by the blood because it binds to the hemoglobin and we can't unbind it. You have to make new red blood cells to replace those. So you see that effect being the worst. Question 25. An amoeba obtains all its oxygen it needs by diffusion via its cell membrane, while a human needs to have a special respiratory surface for this purpose. That is true. The reason which best accounts for this difference has to do something with surface area to volume ratio. Straight up. That's the reason for a complex organ needing to have systems, because its surface area to volume ratio becomes very small in complex organs. So for 25, we are reading all of these and we are picking D as our best answer. The human surface area to volume ratio is too small for diffusion to be effective. 26, we have some activities involved in clotting of blood. Fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. Blood cells are trapped. Platelets are activated. Damage to blood vessels. And for clotting to happen, right? Clotting is not supposed to happen any and every time. Something's supposed to trigger it. What is triggering it? Damage to blood vessels. So that is our first thing. So I hope everyone is seeing D as the answer. That's the only one with damage to blood vessels being the first. Why is it difficult to develop a vaccine for the common cold? The antigens on the common cold virus change frequently. Yeah? If they remain the same, then you won't even need to develop a vaccine. Once again, once you can't get it. Yeah, but because of the changes, you need you have problems. Yeah, you have problems. Question 28. In the transport of solutes in the phloem, notice it told you the phloem, the source is identified as any area of the plant where what? If it's the phloem, what is the phloem, Karen? Yeah, and the source means the origin point, right? So you know phloem, you're thinking about sucrose being transported. The source is the origin point, which means the source is where the stuff is starting. We're looking for a starting point. So I hope persons, let me check the chat to see if persons are choosing the correct answer. So question 28. Yeah, all right, well, let's go and see. What is the main storage product of plants? What do plants store the most? Nearly all plants store this. You see them all in their cells and everything. Yeah, what's that? I hope everyone is thinking starch grains, something with starch. Yeah, for question 29. And for question 30, let's go on to question 30, which means we are right about the halfway mark. Which of the following substances is removed during egestion? Yeah, egestion is the removal of undigested waste. So it's feces, right? Which one? Well, the definition tells you the answer. Undigested food. Yeah? Undigested food. It can't come any simpler than that. D. This is the halfway point in this paper. Persons, how are you feeling? Are you feeling confident? You feeling yes? How are we thinking about it? You could let us know. These things are supposed to encourage you. Yeah, these things are supposed to support your learning and preparation for the exam. Do remember to subscribe to the channel so that that's a good way for you to show support for us, what we do with all these videos and making the information available and accessible by not just you, but by others who would come after you. So let's go on to question 31. Which of the following processes is not a form of excretion in plants? Is not a form of excretion in plants. Carbon dioxide diffusing in through the stomata, substances being stored in the bark of a tree, water vapor diffusing out through the epidermis, calcium oxalate crystals being stored in leaves during leaf fall. Well, the carbon dioxide diffusing into the stomata would instantly jump out because excretion is the removal of metabolic waste. So it's supposed to be leaving out. So go with A, but this question isn't properly structured, right? Because the water vapor diffusing out through the epidermis, that is transpiration, not excretion per se, but it's still going out. Some support for that, but this is a poorly structured question. Question 32. Someone is telling us that the HSB was a walk-through bed of roses. That's great. That is great to hear that the HSB exam came so wonderful for you. Question 32. Which of the following changes in concentration of substances is most likely to occur in the blood of persons who suffer from kidney disease? They have kidney disease, which means they have kidney problems. Yeah. So what should happen? What should happen to the blood of persons? What should happen to blood of persons who have kidney problems? Yeah. So urea should be an increase in urea, because remember, your kidney is responsible for removing that waste and putting it in your urine for you to pass it out. So if your kidney is having problems, it means they're not functioning how they should, and something going contrary. That person should probably visit the physician. Let's move on to the next question, 33. 33. Which of the following correctly describes movement in plants? Growth movement, heart movement, whole body movement. If this is plants we're talking about, what is whole body movement for plants? Is it that the plant is going to get up and walk? The plant not going to get up and walk and go down the road. We are going with 1 and 2. 1 and 2, growth movement, meaning the plant could grow. You see them sometimes growing to reach the sunlight, and we have part body movement. Especially if the plant is a crawler, you see them holding on to maybe a fence, a pole, something, right? All of that is part body movement. Yeah, but the plant is not going to get up and walk down the road, so the whole body movement is surely out. So let's go on to question 34. In humans, the skeletal system performs a variety of functions, including mastication. Oh my gosh, mastication is a fancy word for chewing. Is your skeleton chewing? This is why I really believe the examiner just doesn't have 4 answers to come up with, and they just chuck in some. That is so crazy. I wonder if anyone will ever choose chewing as a function of the skeleton. But nevertheless, let's focus on answering the question. What did you all say your answer was? If you said D, then you are on the right track. Yeah. Blood cell formation. Locomotion is important for animals to avoid predators. Reproduction, assimilation. We're looking for that 1 and 2. I wonder what they're assimilating with. Assimilation refers to what you do with food that you have digested. So I wonder what they're assimilating with. But anyway, 1 and 2 is the answer. We're looking for something that says that A. Go to the next page for 36. We have a bicep muscle. We have the skin of the hand. Numbered structures are what? The numbered structures are what? If we have a bicep muscle here, it means 1 is a motor neuron. Motor neuron goes to muscle. Yeah, so we're looking for that. We see we have 2 options. We see 2 coming from the skin of the hand. We know the skin of the hand is a sensory neuron. So 2 has to be a sensory neuron, and we know 3, the interneuron, also called the relay neuron. So we see that our answer is completely C. 37. Which of the following best describes the term stimulus and response? For 37, you just take your time and read all the answers. And if you are reading that is stimulus, a detectable change in an organism's environment and an organism's reaction to a stimulus, if you are saying your answer is D for 37, then you would be correct. You would be very correct. Let's go on. Let's check out 38. 38 refers to the following diagram of a section of human skin with structures labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which structure is not, we get a capitalized not, involved in temperature regulation? If you just identify the structures, 4 being a sweat gland, 1 a rectal muscle, 2 should be some sebaceous gland, and 3 this look like some kind of capillary, so it's a blood vessel. Then we see the answer being Roman numeral 2, so that's B. Moving on to 39. 39. I like that there are so many correct answers in the chapter. It really gives me encouragement. It really, really gives encouragement. 39. The function of the choroid layer in the eye is to do what? Focus most light rays? No. Prevent internal reflection? Sounds very, very good. Is that possibly the correct answer? Maintains the shape of the eyeball? That sounds like it should be a humor, right? But controls the amount of light entering the eye? Yeah, the right answer. So we were right. B was the correct answer. So we saw it early. Just wanted to make sure to read the other answers to make sure there was none better. Question 40. Which of the following shows how the defect can be corrected? We have someone with nearsighted, short-sightedness, meaning the image is formed in front of the retina. We want to push back this image for it to fall on the retina. So we have to do what? What kind of lens we have to put in? Divergent and convergent. Remember, those words replace the old words concave and convex. Yeah, but nevertheless, let's go on and answer the question. 40. We want to bend the light outward before it hits the lens, so we need a divergent lens. Yeah, we want to bend it outwards. Right? Very good. So 40 is A. All right. Question 41. Question 41. The statements below describe the processes taking place within a seed during germination. Which of the following sequences of events occur during the germination of the seed? The embryo uses food to develop the radicle and female. Enzymes break down proteins in amino acid. Soluble products move into the embryo, and you have to put them in order. That's what question 41 is asking of you. And you will be starting with 2. Enzymes break down proteins into amino acids. Soluble products move into the embryo, and the embryo uses food to develop the radicle. So this is last. This is germination. 1 has to be last. So 1 was the actual giveaway of the question, right? Because the seed has to germinate. Once you get the radical and the pumule, you have germinated. The radical becomes the root, and the pumule becomes the shoot. Yeah. So D is the answer. Question 40. Is this 42? We have a graph-like thing, but they didn't put anything on the axis. They asking us which of the following labels would be incorrect on the y-axis. Now remember, this is a measurement of growth in living organisms. So which one would be incorrect on the y-axis? The y-axis is this axis here. So we have mass, that's an example of growth. Length, another example of growth. Units of time, it's not an example of growth. Number of leaves, that's an example of growth. So which one would be incorrect? The one that is not an example of growth, which is C. So 42 is C. 43, the production of new organisms from one parent cell is known as, oh, I like this question, sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, mitosis, and meiosis. This is a nice structured question. And they give us plausible answers. Remember how absurd some of those answers. This is a nice one. All right. So the asexual reproduction, meaning you only need one parent. Yeah, only one parent. The offspring will basically be a clone, the identical individual. And we have many organisms that do this. From plants like sugarcane, bougainvillea, many of them do this. Yeah. So, 44, which shows two different types of plants. This is the June 2023 paper. I'm seeing in the chat someone asking if this is January 24. This is the June 2023 paper. Question 44 asks, which of the following statements is true for both flowers? For both flowers, both are wind pollinated. No, this dangly one would be wind pollinated. Petals are absent for both 1 and 2. No, petals are okay. Both are pollinated by a hummingbird. No. One is pollinated by a wind, while 2 is pollinated by a hummingbird. That is reasonable. That is very reasonable. Question 45. Which of the following forms of birth control is most likely 100% effective? If you are trying to get as close to 100% as possible, you will need the surgical method. The only one of these answers suggesting a surgical method is tubal ligation. That is where that's for the female, where the fallopian tubes are snipped and tied, ligated. Yeah, the equivalent to this in the males is a vasectomy. All right. Question 46, we have a diagram of specialized cells. Which of the following structures is common to both cells? This is an easy one. First of all, these plants do not have a cell wall, but nevertheless, just choose the right answer. B. Yeah, these are specialized reproductive cells. One is a egg or ova, 2 a sperm. So both of them would have a nucleus. So that is not a problem. Moving on to question 47. Which of the following shows the correct sequence for seed formation after fertilization? And I hope everyone is aware that seed formation is with the ovule. All right, the ovule forms the seed. The fruit is formed from the ovary. All right, so straight away, we see the answer being A. It starts with the ovule, and the objective is the seed. So it starts with the ovule, ends with a seed. That's a great hint for the answer. Which of the following diseases matches its category? Question 48, we are doing the diseases are listed on one side, one column, the first column, and the category of disease is the second column. And you just match them up correctly. Let me check the chat, see what persons are saying for question 40. 49, see what persons are saying. All right, 9 persons are saying AIDS, pathogenic, meaning a pathogen, meaning some kind of microorganism. Yeah, so we are going with C for 48. 49, an animal which transmits a disease-causing organism but is not adversely affected by it is called a vector. Ooh, they literally stated the definition. This definition appears in so many textbooks. They literally just wrote back the definition for us and asked us to fill in the blank at the end. Yeah, so this is a vector. 50, we have the life cycle of a mosquito. We have the life cycle of a mosquito. At which stage is this vector easily controlled by the use of aerosol insecticides? Aerosol insecticides are sprays, right? And you use the spray when you want to kill the adult mosquito. This is the adult at number 4 here. So we choose then D as our answer. This is a nice giveaway question too. Okay? A nice giveaway question. This question should take you all of however long it takes to read, must be about 4 seconds it takes to read this question. 1 second to fill the correct answer. So 5 seconds if you meet up this question. 5 seconds, Yama, that's really good. Question 51, which of the following best defines a chromosome? The structure made up of DNA wrapped around histones. Histones are the protein, wrapped around histones. Yes. That's a best definition. That is a best definition. All right, 52. The following diagram, which shows 4 stages of mitosis, label 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they are asking you to put the stages in the correct order. Yeah, put the stages in the correct order. If we are doing mitosis, you have to start with 1 cell. So you start in with 3, and you have to end with 2 identical cells. So we are starting with 3, and we are ending with 4. All right. So we have multiple options of that. But when we look at these 2 Roman numeral 1 and 2, we first have to line up at the equator. You see it lining up here. There's the equator here. And then you have the spindle fibers will pull chromatids to different poles. We have them being pulled here. Yeah. So it's 3, 2, 1, 4. 3, 2, 1, 4 makes the answer C. Yeah. I'm seeing many C's in the chat, so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. Everyone is, I'm really proud of that. So many persons are prepared for this exam. I feel like you all could do this exam tonight and mash it up. Yeah. But you would have to wait till tomorrow. On a certain Caribbean island where sugarcane is grown, the fungus is accidentally introduced into the island and destroys the entire crop of sugarcane. Which of the following best explains this occurrence? Yeah, what happened? What happened here for all these sugarcane to die out? The best answer is that the plants were the same, meaning they had no genetic variation among the plants, so none could survive the attack. Yeah. And in real life, this is true too. Sugarcane does use asexual reproduction. So they often have no genetic variation in a field. Which of the following statements about meiosis is not true? So you're looking for the one that is wrong or false. Genetic variation occurs. Is that true? Yeah, that sounds true. Gametes are produced. Also sounds true. It causes haploid cells to form from diploid cells. That sounds true. The number of chromosomes in gametes is double. That does not sound true. The number of chromosomes in gametes is half, not double, right? So 54 is the easy pickings, easy pickings. 55, a pea plant. Purple flowers are dominant over white flowers. What percentage of offspring are likely to have white flowers in the following crosses? You have homozygous dominant with homozygous recessive. And remember, I already told persons you could write on this paper. So you could pick any letter. So we could pick, I could pick R, right? I could pick R, so we know we're talking about capital R, common R, dominant R, recessive R. So if we have homozygous crossed with this, and on this side we have heterozygous, which means cross with homozygous recessive. Yeah, this is the two crosses they want to do. If you have to work this out, and you could just work this out, work some Punnett squares, write on the paper. You could write on the paper and see what you come up with. And once you get the right answer, you're good to go. And our answer, so what do we get? What percentage of offspring are likely to have white flowers? There is 0% chance of this cross having white flowers. Remember, white is the recessive. Once the dominant is there, it will never be white. So our answer straight away is E, which means we don't even have to do this cross. We don't even have to do this cross, but anyway, it would have been 50. Yeah, it would have been 50. Question 56. Question 56. One example of a sex-linked disease is one example of a sex-linked disease. I feel like they're really just trying to give one an answer. They're really just trying to give marks. Yeah? You, in your syllabus, you're required to do 2 sex-linked diseases, color blindness, and hemophilia. Those are the 2 sex-linked diseases you would know. So let me put one right here. So we don't have any problem with that answer. Question 57, variation in a population. Variation in a population, what's that about? Is it mutation, crossing over, asexual reproduction? Well, 3 is wrong, so we're looking for 1 and 2. Which one is saying 1 and 2? A. Question 58. A species consists of members that, what about the members? Are not closely related. Occupy the same habitat. Reproduce by asexual. Interbreed under normal conditions to produce fertile offspring. This have more words. Right? This have more words, which make it even sound way better. Yeah, it sounds way better. Question 59. Which of the following descriptions is about natural and artificial selection? Take your time, read all of them. Is a faster process, natural selection is faster? Is a slower process? Is that true? That sounds true. Artificial selection should be way faster. So that D jumps out as the most wrong thing. Yeah? But nevertheless, let's just choose the correct answer. C produces great biological diversity. Very true. Produces very different organisms from the natural process. Think about all those little small chunky dogs, those tiny dogs. Had they been in nature, could that dog hunt anything? Could that dog would have get snatched by an eagle and be dead, be a meal? That dog would have ceased to exist. Artificial selection makes that dog exist. Question 60, the final question for this June 2023 biology paper 1 refers to the following diagram, which shows stages 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the production of insulin by genetic engineering. We have the whole diagram here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the final thing. In which stage above can insulin be produced by the bacterium? What stage allows insulin to be produced by the bacterium? And question 60 is a good place to end with a D. Yeah, question 60 is a good place to end with D. That's the end. That's when the bacteria is able to produce insulin. Later, you just let the bacteria multiply. You harvest the insulin, and then you sell it in the pharmacy. Yeah. So that is our look at this biology paper 1. What you all think? How you all feeling? Let me know. All right. Because the goal, what's the goal? I always say this. The goal is the 1. That is what we are aiming for. So this is the paper. And I hope persons are really comfortable now about this paper, about even the syllabus. as you gears up for the exam tomorrow. I want to encourage you. This was the 2023 June paper. Miracle, you're asking what paper this was. This was the paper for last year, June. Yeah. So let me see those ones in the chat. Do remember to subscribe, as I wish you all the best for tomorrow's exam. Put your one in the chat. Bye-bye.